So you mentioned earlier that, granddad and dad, nobody wanted anybody working there. So this is all new to you. So back one, how did you get to start in the motorsports? What, you get racing? What jobs did you have before, since you couldn't work for the family business?
So I, in college, like 2 years in, started, like I was in business management, marketing. I wrote like a business proposal strategy for a motorcycle shop, and literally started an online dirt bike shop, and actually had a couple employees, was doing really good. And my dad had the idea. I was trying to go racing, which is a crazy story, but how that happened, which will twine in, is I went to dinner with my dad and actually a marketing guy that worked at Detroit Locker Eaton, and they were in California pitching Nissan like concept cars for SEMA, like, back in the day, the dollar car, well, they still do, but the dollar car deal. And their ideas got turned down from Nissan. So they threw out my idea that I was like, oh, if I ever got to build a freaking car for SEMA, this is what I do. Well, my idea got accepted by Nissan. So that dude called my dad, was like, you're not going to believe it. They actually liked your son's ideas more than ours. So if he wants to build a car, you can build it. So I literally built a Nissan. It was 2008 is when the Nissan Frontier came out. The new body style Nissan Frontier came out. So I built this bitchin' like short course looking truck, and then had to go present it in front of everyone at Nissan. All the dudes at Nissan came out and were like, hey, we hear that you want to race off-road trucks. If the opportunity ever came, we'll sponsor half the budget of what it would take to run the rest of the year. All you have to do is come up with half. So without ever driving anything. So I literally busted my ass, and I owned the dirt bike shop. Well, my dad's like, you have a super successful business and you're going to throw it all away to go racing. He's like, so he had a friend, Kurt Leduc, who's like a big off-road racer. And he was like, Kurt, go tell Casey that, this shit ain't going to work. So Kurt came and talked to me. He's like, look, dude, where you're at in your life, like, you can't have multiple ventures going on. Like, it's all in on one thing. That was his whole deal. He's like, you need to stay committed to one thing until you're really good at it before you go venture off onto something else, because having two things grow at the same time is just not going to work. So I was like, you're fucking absolutely right. I literally listed my dirt bike shop that night. And my dad's like, you fucking didn't tell him the wrong. You told
You're a little vague.
You went the wrong way. So my dad was like, it went the wrong way.
Appreciate the advice, Dad.
Right?
Reputation issue there.
So I
You're the best.
Literally sold my dirt bike shop. And it was funny. I sold my dirt bike shop, and Nissan came with money, sold the dirt bike shop, used some of that money.
Did you double the budget for Nissan?
Yeah,
so then
dude.
they paid half, which was still the whole thing?
Right. Yeah. Well, it was their factor team. I didn't even have, it was their whole involvement. So it was actually a pretty amazing deal. And then Nitto Tires came on board, paid the other half. We went racing. And then from there, that whole deal just evolved, and it just kept evolving. And where the transition to Currie was when Nissan, it's crazy how new CEOs change everything. But like in June of, I think it was 2009, they got a new CEO, and we got a call from our motorsports director going like, look, I'm getting let off. There's no more motorsports. They don't want to do racing anymore. They're going to go do tennis, and all the motorsports money is going to go towards tennis. So just letting you know. So I told myself, I was in 2012, I was like, well, dude, I'm not going to run the body for free. I'm like, screw that. I might as well just go do something that'll help my dad's company. So I went and I rented a Jeep body. I went into a U-Haul or a Penske, and I rented a Jeep. I went to a fiberglass shop and had him splash. I molded the whole thing, created a mold, put it on my race car, and I was like, fuck it, Dad, I'm just going to, I'll rock it. So that way all my sponsors were like, I'll just rock a Jeep and we'll put Currie on it. So at least I can help Currie, like, stoke you guys out. Well, it ended up being that at the time I was with BF Goodrich Tires, and a couple other brands were like, dude, Jeep is one of our biggest markets, but there's no one racing Jeeps. Like, dude, this is a great like marketing tool. Will turn into.
I want to go back to the dude that rented that Jeep after the fact.
I know.
It's like, there's shit all over this thing.
And everywhere.
It's like, this thing smells like resin.
Dude,
Like
we were
claying all the gaps. And like, what the
you literally, we had slime in it.
You slid right past that story. That was the best part.
Oh, right. What's funny now looking at it is like, we literally borrowed a Jeep for 3 days, and oh man, I remember pulling it off in one piece because we were so stressed out that we didn't want to have to do it again. Because I also didn't want to mess the body up on the Jeep to get flagged for something going on.
That's like $50 a day rental too.
Yeah, right? 100%. No, dude, we literally, all I did was go to a boat shop. They're making boats. I didn't even go to a race car shop. I went to a boat shop, and literally asked him to just make a mold. And that is a good story. But we literally were putting every sort of wax on the vehicle we could to make sure that the resin didn't peel the paint. So yeah. And anyways, after that, like the evolution, I ended up buying a building next door to Currie Enterprises, racing. And then with that, when everything was going good, rocking it. And then whatever, 4 years ago, my dad, when they made that decision, I feel like my grandfather, he was a huge advocate of everything I did. Like all my cousins, super successful. All of them had their degrees. I dropped out of college. That's my claim to fame in the family. I'm the only one that dropped out. Started making money. I was like, dude, screw this. If I'm better at making money than going to school. But all my cousins were very successful. But my grandfather, like humongous car guy himself, and just he loved everything I was doing as well. So he supported me, and like I feel that everything he did in life at his older ages was align me for the right opportunity for things to happen. And in 2019, where I bought my building and my grandfather was a part of the purchase of my building, and he really helped make sure that everything went right when I was buying it, because I was so young and buying a building in California. When he did that, literally it felt like he aligned it. So when the time came, I was ready to go. Like